Yo, getting back to the first album, do you feel like a record like if you were to move, I feel like a record like Let's Roll at that time was, at the time you were getting pushed at urban and rhythmic radio, which was like hip hop radio, and it's kind of it was just a hard sell to closed-minded program directors at that time.
Always a hard. I'm never not a hard sell.
No, but I'm saying,
Kev.
like, if you move forward, like, I feel like a lot of that shit, like, that to me is a record that's like, nowadays the genre-less shit like really goes. It's almost like, you know, like, I feel like you're almost like, you were ahead of you kind of fucking ran through bullets so people could walk safely at night when it comes to a lot of this shit. You know what I mean?
I mean,
and a lot of guys will say that. A lot of guys will give you that credit. You know what I mean?
Thank you. You know, I'll take the flowers. You know, like, I know. You know what I mean? Like, if you know, you know. But you know, it's like, you know, walking that line took a lot of fucking, like, I had to make like boss decisions at a young artist age, like not age specifically. I just mean like I'm a new artist, but I got to make boss decisions.
Yeah.
One of those decisions was we were in Harlem to shoot Let's Roll. Mm-hmm. The whole video was shot in Harlem with DJ Kool Herc, me, Bob, and Herc in a Cadillac around Harlem. Which, by the way, there's an argument going on of not an argument, but a discussion. There's a discussion going on. Kool Herc told me that you know, he created hip hop and in this particular neighborhood, he brought the tables out.
Cedric and Cedar, right? Is the block, right? Yeah.
And then the other, and he told me the whole story. I'm not going to go into depth about it, you know, whatever. But it made a lot of sense to me, like, you know, the break beats and the MCs and how it all evolved.
He's credited as the guy who kind of kicked the shit off.
Kinda.
No, he's credited as the guy. Like, he's
the guy.
He's the inventor of hip hop. Yeah.
But then Africa Bambaataa, right? So there's this like thing going down, you know. But Bob and
there was a lot of things going down with Africa Bambaataa.
So the whole time that we're recording this video,
yeah,
Bob and Herc are just going. Bob is Kid Rock, by the way. I just call him Bob.
Kid Rock, yeah.
I feel weird about calling him Kid Rock every time. Kid Rock. He said Bob. It's Bobby. So they're going back and forth, you know, with this story, and I'm just soaking it up, man. You know what I mean? We're rolling through Harlem and shit, and it was beautiful. But at the end of the edit, I saw it, and I was like, bro, I'm from Alabama. My first single cannot be shot in Harlem. It can't. I need to shoot the rest of this in Alabama somehow. No budget. None. Zero. Label says no. I call the director. This is what I'm saying about making boss decisions. I called the director. I said, I'll pay you everything that I have. Please come to Alabama. And I did. My fucking money. And I did not have a lot of money. I spent
How much was the reshoot?
I think it cost me like $60,000, and I may have had like maybe $70,000 in the bank. And I took like that 60 and put it directly in his pocket. And so let's shoot the rest of this shit in Alabama. And thank God, because like, bro, that was the part that guided the country rap shit that was to follow.
And I think that had a lot to do with, I don't know if you still
the other
get
part.
Well, I mean, obviously being because it wasn't it Alabama's theme song for one of their championship runs or something. I remember seeing it on ESPN.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you a real funny story about that shit.
Roll Tide.
I'll tell you a real funny story about that motherfucking shit. All right.
Shout out to Roll Tide Willie.
Now, it's Roll Tide to the grip because, you know, it's a birthright when you're from Alabama. It's just some shit that you're just born with. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Look. It's Roll Tide, son. Heart of Dixie, Alabama. It's getting it. So, rest in peace, Tommy Mitchell, Barbara Mitchell, Barbara Jean. So like, yeah, we had this whole, like, there was an importance to that song, Let's Roll Tide, duh. Right?
Match made in heaven.
Like, but even when I wrote it, I didn't think about that. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, ooh, yeah, let's go out and fucking support the Crimson Tide.
Right.
At, what is it, the Iron Bowl?
Iron Bowl with Auburn, yeah.
So they're in Tuscaloosa for the Iron Bowl, and we're gonna go work Let's Roll at the Iron Bowl. And I pull up to the Iron Bowl, and there's a dude, I'm not shitting you, hanging out of a truck, Kev, with a like the fucking, what are they called?
Megaphone, yeah.
Hanging out the truck, the side of a truck, like a U-Haul truck. Mm-hmm. Literally, a U-Haul truck. Yelawolf is in the building. Outside, by the way, we're outside. Yelawolf is in the building. And like they have Let's Roll posters about
on the truck,
this size, about the size of this big Lebowski poster, taped in multiple across
the U-Haul.
The U-Haul.
Wow.
Interscope had given this promotional company money to promote me. They plastered my poster on the side of this U-Haul truck.
How much they charge?
And walked around.
How much they charge?
Hold up. And walked around. I'll get to that. And walked and drove around yelling that shit out. But first of all, when I saw that, the car wasn't even stopping. My manager goes, I say, yo, what? What the? And I jumped out of the car. I was still rolling. And J-Dot goes, no, Wolf, please, no. I'm yanking all the posters off. I fucking take the dude's fucking megaphone out of his fucking hand. Like fucking throw that shit on the ground. Let's get the fuck out of here. So they probably took about $1,500 to pay that guy to do that.
And then
and took the other $20,000.
Yeah.
And paid for a frat party, keg party.
Well, just for people who don't know.
Wow. That's how that works.
Well, if you're an up and coming artist, the number one way that people inside of the building steal money from artist budgets is the street team budget.
Yeah,
it's all bullshit. It's a made
bullshit.
Up thing.
Like if you invest,
there's still labels right now that when an album drops, it's in people's deals that $50K is allocated for street team marketing. To this day, I'm talking about major labels, and I know people in those buildings that split that money between themselves.
They'll take all your fucking posters and throw them in the dumpster and say I ran the streets.
It's bullshit.
What you have to do is you got to have someone that you like when we did our shit. Ooh wee, that was a fucking phone call right there. I might should take that. Not going to. Fuck it. So, oh man. God, that just threw me off. Okay, so I used to work for a marketing company when I was a kid. So in New York in 2000, I worked for a company called Guerrilla Marketing, and I did a lot of hip hop albums during that time. One of them was Autobionics for De La Soul. So I would go around the streets wearing a spacesuit in New York City, like a full-on like a spacesuit, dog. And I painted this big, like, God, I don't know where that painting, man. If someone could find that, holy shit. I painted their album cover on a piece of canvas, and I would walk around the city, with this
suit on,
this sign. My other job was to take posters and stickers and put them up in all these record stores. Now, I did that because I honored De La Soul, and I also honored the job of promotion. I understood it, and I was loyal. Some of them other motherfuckers, though, they would take like a bag of like De La Soul's posters.
Just put them in the trash. Or
literally,
throw them on the street.
Literally.
Yeah.
And then go get pizza, do whatever the fuck they wanted to do. You're working from noon to 7 or 8 at night, and they would just clock out at 8 and be like, yeah, I handled that. So that
it's worse nowadays because that kind of shit don't even exist anymore. The money's just invisible. It's like, where'd it go?
Shit, we don't fuck around though, man. My boys are from the streets and have done. I'm not talking about crime. I'm talking about street shit. I'm talking about street art.
Yeah.
Street shit.
Yeah.
Street promotion, like guerrilla shit. So when we do shit, we're on point with it, and like you ain't slipping up, man. We're tapping in. We know the tricks, so you ain't pulling that shit over here.
You talked about having that job. Wasn't there like a year in which you were doing like deep ice fishing?
Oh, you want to hear something crazy?
On a boat somewhere?
Just before we go
ahead.
there, when I was in front of TRL in a fucking spacesuit,
it's an era. Yeah.
My wife that I would meet years later was in
Fifi.
Yes, Fifi Dobson was in my ex-wife.
Yeah.
But she's
you guys are
that's my baby.
You guys are very kosher.
I love Fifi. I love her to death.
I'd like to point out Tennessee Love, one of the most fucking emotionally amazing love songs ever. My wife, I played it at my wedding. Yeah, I played that song at my wedding. Yeah, it was one of the songs. It was like one of the 10 songs that I needed to play before we came out.
I should have played it at my wedding. Fucking should have fucking rapped that shit to her face. Maybe my marriage would have turned out better. I love Fifi to death. She's amazing. Like, seriously.
All-time great Canadian.
Listen, all-time great artist. All-time great human. All-time, like, the first of her kind in so many ways. Like, artistically, just untouched. Like, just unbelievable. So, love you, Fifi, if you're watching.
She saw me the highest night of my life. I tell the story all the time. Is the first time I ever really talked to a Fifi. You and Ritz were on tour, and I ate a whole weed brownie that I shouldn't have ate, and that shit hit me like a fucking ton of bricks, dude.
You know the first song that we did, that how Fifi and I like hit it off? Animal, produced by Diplo.
Crazy.
On Radioactive, and she featured on that record.
She was on it, yeah.
And we hung out in
I didn't realize
Las
Diplo
Vegas.
made that beat.
Cannot confirm or deny whether Diplo actually made that beat, but let's just say he did.
Okay.
Nah, fucking Diplo is a goddamn man, dude. Like, I'm sure he did make the fucking beat, but sometimes he just produces and he don't fucking touch shit.
Like Rick Rubin.
Yeah, fucking get it how you live, son.
Hey, man.
Like I'm not mad. Hey,
like our friend Molly Mall.
Producing doesn't mean, okay, this is for real.
Yeah, this is for real. Yeah.
Producing does not mean that you touch any instrument. Sometimes producing is producing the room, producing the artist, facilitating relationships, knowing who needs to work with one another, and that is indeed a
quite
fucking
literally
producer.
producing.
And a lot of motherfuckers who think they're producers are just making loops. So, like, don't call yourself a producer if you're making a loop and you email it to somebody and they then turn that into a hit record, because they are the people who are producing the song. You just made a loop.
Facts. And you, yeah,
for real.
The loop game is wild.
Loop it.
The loop it.
Just call yourself a looper.
You're a looper. What was that movie with? Wasn't there a Bruce Willis movie that was called Looper? It was
Bruce Looper. That's a good producer name.